Finally made it to the hump day edition of Outlaw Radio. How you doing? It's Kevin Barnes, Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night. Know about it. A show that's meant to be very informal, waiting on my guest to join us. But in the meantime and in between time, I am the Negro Whisperer, Mr. Kevin Barnes, mouthpiece of the movement, the militant with a microphone. The world-class smartass is in the building for Outlaw Radio. Know about it. Off top, I have a phone issue, so I had to switch phones tonight. So if you want to call in, there's a different number. It's on the screen. 414-530-4343. So if you want to call in, make sure you call that number. Okay. Let me see. I got my guest with me. Make sure her sound is okay. Miss Beverly, we can't really see your face. We just see your glasses in the top of your head. See if she can hear me, if I can bring her in.
Hi, I can't hear you.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
I need to do.
But, I'm not alone. Like I always say, I have the witch doctor here tonight, Mr. Carter himself. Kamar, what to do, bro?
Peace, family. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, listen, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, the hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm all y'all holistic health and wellness coach. Hey, mama, there go the seat, mama.
Kamar, you doing big things. I saw you on the news again.
Whatever reason I'm not hearing.
What was that all about?
Man. Hey, it's a blessing, man. Yesterday was the 5-year anniversary for the Sherman Phoenix. Okay. So, like, a lot of different news stations was out there, man. It was dope. That Sean Hidden came out and did the live band thing. It was a DJ all day. It was dope. I did a couple interviews. They liked my story that I had, like how I was there when the Sherman Phoenix first opened and I only had products on the shelf. I kept on stocking the shelf until I could stock it for myself. And now I got the House of Vitality in the Sherman Phoenix. So, you know what I mean? That story in itself, is what the Sherman Phoenix is all about. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
The growth of black businesses. It's a black business hub. And that's what they was there highlighting. 5 years.
Black business. You said it. Fonzarelli, what it do, man? What it do? How you doing tonight?
Peace. I'm good, man. Had to dig that tree out for the family. So just got that upstairs. So now they can go ahead and decorate it while I'm down here.
Merry Xmas. Merry Xmas. Let's see if we can bring our guest in. She was testing her audio early. Miss Beverly, Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Now I can.
All we can see is just your nose and your glasses. So let me
see.
There we go.
Hey, there she is.
There we go.
How you gonna do it?
We are doing well. How are you?
Just fine.
Okay. So I actually titled the show "Know About It" tonight because I like to bring information to people. And we talk about a lot of different things, but some areas we don't really focus on. You are focused particularly on a couple different things. So tell the people.
Okay, my name is Beverly Hamilton Williams. I have a nonprofit grassroots group
On a couple different things. So
called. Let me turn it off.
Yeah, you got to turn that device down.
I have a grassroots advocacy group called Community Takeover Voices of Milwaukee's Children. And we basically, we started out primarily dealing with Milwaukee Public Schools, but we branched out into other areas also. Right now, because of the news cycle, about the 1.3 million that was given to the Republican Vice Chair Gerard Randall, we are focused on that. But we have been focusing on the misallotment, misappropriation, missing funds in Milwaukee Public Schools for a period of time. And we had already filed a fraud complaint with the Milwaukee Police Department on September 31st, 2023. Excuse me. And then this story also came out, and we amended that complaint and included the $1.3 million.
Okay. And this is money. This is money that was supposedly in MPS's budget. A lot of people don't know MPS has $1 billion budget, correct? Oh, she
This
froze.
money, Kevin, was dispersed over from since 2011. Okay,
Okay.
so what happened was Gerard Randall, who is the Wisconsin Republican vice chair, who's bringing the convention, who helped bring the Republican convention here to the city. He has been receiving pockets of money every year since 2011, which added up to $1.3 million. And he almost received another $75,000 this year. But at the school board meeting, Superintendent Keith Posley was successful at stopping any type of audit or investigation by telling the board members that they would no longer bring his nonprofit Milwaukee Education Partnership to the board, any longer. So by him doing that, that stopped any type of investigation into those funds for the last decade.
So he has a nonprofit that are they contracting with MPS and they're being paid, or what are they saying that they're paying him
This
for?
is the issue. This is the issue. Gerard Randall was the director and the sole employee of this nonprofit, Milwaukee Education Partnership.
Okay.
Okay. So what was happening is that every year, every 2 years, whatever, they were giving him 100,000. In 2021, they gave him 65,000. This year, they were going to give him another 75,000. But the problem is there was no accountability. There wasn't any type of records or data that was being presented to our elected board to show where this money was going.
And they still have
Okay?
yet to answer where the money went.
They have yet to answer where the money went.
Okay.
So what happened, Missy Zumbor, who was a board member, and she also was placed on the board by the MTA, which lets us know that the MTA knew about this issue for a period of time. She is the one that said, hey, wait, we keep giving Milwaukee Education Partnership with Gerard Randall this money, but we don't have any records. I go on his website, and all of the records are outdated, and it's not telling us where this money is going. So we want to investigate where has this money been going. So what happened when they had the board meeting on November 16th, Keith Posley, Superintendent Posley, before they were able to vote on whether or not to do an investigation, he said, well, as administrators, we have looked over the contracts that we've been giving Gerard Randall, and we've decided that we're no longer going to give him any more money. So by him saying that dropped that resolution. That dropped that investigation. So the board said, okay, well, since we're going to go ahead and we're not going to give him any more money, and we're not even going to look into what happened to the money. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And we want, go ahead. And we want the community to come out to the board meeting on December 19th at 5:30 to let them know, no, this is not going to happen. Considering all the problems we have in Milwaukee Public Schools, we have teachers going out buying their own supplies. We have problems with truancy, 1,000 students, okay, that they're not able to find in MPS, and you're giving away money with no accountability.
Okay, so money wise, and this is just like for people. I don't know if people know MPS. Once again, it is, I believe, the largest school district in the country. Like it's in
Well,
terms of
I
its
know it's the
size.
largest school district in Wisconsin. I don't know about the country. I
I,
need to
I
look.
thought I believe it's the largest one in the country. Like in terms of because even in LA it's divided up. In some of the larger cities, it's broken up. It's not one main entity. Somebody out there let me know. I know you all outlaw family is very informed. But my question is, they have $1 billion budget. And
Yes, they do.
often we talk about allocation. And Mama Jenkins, shout out to Mama Deborah Jenkins in the chat room. Paris LaShawn says hello, by the way, from Denver. Mama Jenkins says, good evening, my outlaw family. Let's make it do what it do. More great information for our community. Thanks for sharing. She's saying, where's this money? We're going to get to that, Mama Jenkins. Shout out to Dion. I see you, Dion, in the chat room. My chat room is always crazy. She says, so has Randall been investigated as of yet? I'm behind in the chat room, so I think you already answered that question. But my question is, where with $1 billion budget, where does the money go? Does it go into building services because they have all this property? Teachers don't make that much money. Keith Posley himself makes about what, $200,000, something like that, $240,000. Where's the rest of the money at? Like what else? What do they do with the rest of the money?
Well, that's the reason why September 31st we filed a fraud complaint with the Milwaukee Police Department, which they sat on for 2 months, and we amended our complaint to add the Milwaukee Education Partnership with Gerard Randall. I had a conversation with the officer who took the complaint, and he, as he stated, he's like the middleman, and he's going to get that report done, and all of this, and that's another story in itself. But they're supposed to amend the complaint and send the complaint to the Financial Crimes Division, and then from there supposed to go to the Milwaukee County DA, which doesn't make sense to me. And the reason why they're doing it that way, it's like pass the buck, okay? Because we filed a complaint with the state of Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call, and the letter we received from him stated, if you feel that there's some financial discrepancies, we suggest you file with the Milwaukee Police Department. So that's what we did. We had it on Facebook. We showed us going to the Milwaukee Police Department, filing the complaint, the fraud complaint. That was September 31st. Here it is. We're going into Christmas. We're going into December. And I spoke to the police department on the 27th, and they still had not completed that report. We also sent a letter to Milwaukee County DA Chisholm so that he will investigate. So they like passing the buck, because what folks don't understand is that Milwaukee Public Schools is a state-controlled entity. They're not controlled by the mayor or anyone or the county exec. The Milwaukee Public School Board, they're their own governing body. And this is the reason why they get away with so much. Also, the board meetings are empty. The seats are empty. The community has to start coming out. Now, they don't make it easy for the community to find out when there is a board meeting. They don't even make it easy for the community to speak at a board meeting, because you have to go into the MPS portal, you have to fill this out, fill that out, then you have to wait for an email from them, and then they'll tell you what time you So it's a bunch of buffoonery as far as I'm concerned. It's
Okay, but we're
not very open.
We're still talking about 1.5 million over some years.
And right now, because of the way Facebook, social media, and that's it.
But what I'm saying is, they have a $1.5 billion budget. I'm looking at how much they actually spend on education. $15,000 per student each year. They said that the district spends $8 million on instruction, $5.7 million on support services, and $660 million on other expenses. I want to know what the other expenses are, especially if you're saying you got 1,000 children that are still truant that they can't locate. Then that means there's money there to hire some people to go and find the children or come up with something to get kids back in school. I understand it's probably students of color that's missing so they could give a darn. But I'm just looking at the big picture. I get Gerard Randall has received the kickback.
Right.
But who else is receiving a kickback if you're spending $660 million on other expenses?
Right.
So I'm like, we've been hoodwinked. If $1.5 billion. I don't know. I thought maybe you had the answer. So go ahead. I'm sorry. You going in and out.
No. We've been hood.
Am I the only one?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, your audio is going in and out. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, no.
I think she's having some problems.
Yeah.
Mikey Davis says New York is the biggest district. Okay, thank you, Mike. I knew somebody out there knew.
Okay,
and New York has got to be 10 times the size of Milwaukee, right? Like,
right.
So,
I didn't. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so no, I was talking about the allocation of the money. Like, we looking at 1.5 million, and I'm saying, okay, that's crazy. That is bad, but I want to know where the rest of the money. Like, if you're saying we have all these shortcomings with students, Dion is in the chat room. He is a food service worker in the school. He says right now they need a freezer and they have to store their food at different schools. How is this possible in a district with a $1.5 billion budget? I don't understand. So they got the same budget as the Milwaukee Bucks, right? Like, like they have the same budget. It's just crazy, man. Dion's congratulating you, boy, on being everywhere.
There's much more. Right.
I think she might be delayed, y'all, because I think we have an audio issue here.
We have to go on my phone and go. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so you're going to go out and come back in.
Yeah, I'm going to go out and come back in on my. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
That will.
Okay.
We got to get. I want our audio to be clear.
That's NPS trying to silence her.
What'd you say?
I said that's NPS trying to silence her.
I don't know. I just want. I think everybody's saying all of this money. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though my son doesn't attend an MPS school as a taxpayer, I still fund MPS, right?
Right.
And one of the issues that we have most often in the city is that kids right now are graduating from high school with no real job skills, and they're not ready to compete in this workforce. So as far as going out, really being able to do highly technical jobs, you got to understand everything is computerized now. This is not the days of when your daddy can stand at a press mold for 12 hours a day at A.L. Smith and make car axles. Everything is technical now. You got to actually have some skills, unless you're going to work one of the lower tier jobs where you just like unloading trucks. But I mean, you feel me? Like those are not the positions you're going to be able to sustain a family on, right? Like, and so that's one of our issues with, and the youngsters is like, it ain't shit out here for us, so whatever. Like, so I guess that's why I'm asking where the money goes.
Yeah, no, that 60. What was it? 60 million on other.
$660 million.
Oh, 660 million on other.
$660 million. Let me make sure I'm reading it right. $660.8 million
on other.
It says on other expenses.
What the fuck is other? Okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're saying, okay, we got to pay the grounds people, safety, and all of that. I don't know where that comes. We still ain't talking about $600 million.
Right.
We still ain't talking about $600 million, boss. That's a whole lot of money, right? That is a phenomenal amount of money.
Yeah. Remember, they got some millions during COVID, and wasn't no kids even in school.
Yes. Come on. We did all the math up on Outlaw Radio. We've been doing that for a while, because a lot of times when it comes to how dysfunctional our city is, we say all you gotta do is follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. Follow the money. Dion said, that's that MPS connection. He said, "Real, what it do, bro?"
Hey,
Bull, I see you everywhere.
That MPS math.
Right? Bull, I see you everywhere. Congratulations on your success. Said, bro, they got kids at my school that need special needs. Yeah, okay. So is that included in the main instruction budget? I'm not an expert, and that's why I asked the question, because I figured Miss Beverly would know, because she really stays on MPS's heels. That's why I asked that question. That does not excuse or exclude this brother who is raping as well, but I want everybody. We want to know where it's going. Like, so, and then, we talk about where most of that money comes from, the property tax levy. So it's a system here at work. And so I'm saying, and what did little buddy just do? We just got a tax increase. So they're getting more revenue now. So this is going to mean it'll be 1.7 billion in 2 years. And kids are still graduating from high school reading on the
little man, level. Where the money at?
All right, where the money, man? Miss Bev, are you good now? We got you back with us.
Hey, look.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you much better.
Are you hearing me, Kevin?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Good. Okay. Now, as I stated to you, when we first filed our original complaint with the Milwaukee Police Department, we filed it based on $500,000 that was allotted for transportation stipends for parents during COVID. Parents were supposed to submit information to Milwaukee Public Schools, and they were supposed to receive money for transporting their children back and forth to school. They had $500,000 allotted for it, and they only spent $8,000. And the other $492,000 is missing. And they cannot give us any information on where that money is. Okay, so that's another batch of money. Then
what'd you say, Kamar?
I said it sounds like somebody should be getting fired. If $400,000 missing.
Absolutely, but listen,
it's somebody's job. That's somebody's job to keep an eye on that money, man.
Right, and you're absolutely correct. But that's not all of it.
What they do?
There's 100
in the box and leave it in a room.
Right. There's also 110 million that's missing, according to the MPS Director of Accountability and Equity, Efficiency, I should say it, whatever. Okay. Now I'm learning there's another possible over 2 million missing from something else. The bottom line is the community, only the parents. I mean, as a grassroots advocacy group, we can keep going out there, and we have a small group. We can keep going out there protesting. We can keep going to the board meetings where there are 100 or more seats empty. Okay. But the parents in Milwaukee Public Schools, the community, they have to start holding these folks accountable. When you see these board meetings in Waukesha and Wauwatosa, that's the only one I can think of right now, it's an overflow crowd. That's what we want on December 19th. We want an overflow crowd of community members concerned about the needs being met for students in Milwaukee Public Schools. We want them to tell us, what are you doing with that money? Where is that money?
Okay.
We have students on the streets during the day, causing chaos. We have this the recent horrific incident with the young man who the teenager who killed the 5-year-old. Okay. Supposedly they didn't the last time they knew that he went to school, he went to MPS. They didn't have any other records. Okay, now I'm just going by the media reports, and MPS can say this is incorrect. But they didn't have any other records showing any other schools that he went to. Now we also have problems with our educational system in Wisconsin because we have too many kids going to every little corner school, and some kids are just being truant.
Those those smaller schools, those smaller schools, excuse me, were supposed to represent some needed variety in curriculum for especially students of color. So you said smaller class size, easier to manage this a building this size, more concentrated curriculum, more time for the students. But the truth is, and for a very long time in the city of Milwaukee, most of these charter schools have been mismanaged. Their accreditation is questionable. A lot of the teachers that they have are not even certified teachers. So this has become a bigger problem. And instead of MPS backing away from it, I feel like, but this has a lot to do with Governor Evers and them increasing voucher money and this kind of thing. I get that. And so it's actually gaining more traction. But the corporate schools came in, and I think this is what twisted up MPS. The corporate organizations of the schools. You see these private, there's supposed to be Hope in all these schools who come in and say, we
cross
gonna
trainers.
Right. And so people go and put their kids in. Hope closed their middle school down. Didn't they close? They said the teachers was at risk, and just like kids wilding out so bad that they had to close the school down and go virtual for the rest of the year.
Right. Isn't that crazy? But the biggest problem too, right? A lot of those schools do not take children who have any type of special education needs or may have behavior problems that cause disruptions in the classroom and all of that, and they're still getting funding for it, the schools and for the children. So that's a major problem, and of course there are lawsuits out there now about the choice schools and the the funding for these schools when they're not accepting all children. They're not accepting all children. There's nothing wrong with choice, but what choice just for some children and not choice for others who may have disabilities? Okay, so if you're going to disperse this money, then you need to make sure that every school is addressing the needs of every child with my tax money. That's my feeling.
Exactly. And that's what I was saying about this $1.5 billion budget. And Rail just like eyes got big because he said, I thought you said 60 million. I said $660.8 million on other services.
No, we're getting into billions. We're getting into billions. And they had a budget meeting. I did the best I could on social media. And then Facebook, they try to shut me down. They won't allow me to boost my posts or monetize. I'm more concerned with boosting the posts. Right. They won't allow me to do that for whatever reason. They make up something, your identity, and I go on the PC and try to do that up, whatever. But anyway, I tried to let parents know, come to the board meeting. There's a budget meeting, come and get involved. Because this is your taxpayers, payer funds, and they're doing whatever they feel like doing with that money. And so parents
I always have to look at the parents. I always have to. I'm sorry, but I gotta blame a lot of these parents, and I'm going to tell you, and I rarely do I do this because I never separate myself from my people because it's us. It ain't you people. But the one thing that my wife and I did as parents when our children were young is we were proactively involved in their education. We knew their teachers. We went to the school. We showed that we wanted our kids to be held accountable for their education. At home, our kids had to read aloud to us. There would be no surprises of he in third grade, and all of a sudden you find out he ain't reading too well. We were proactive, and there were a lot of other parents who were as well that my kids have gone to school with. But a lot of the poorest neighborhoods in the most downtrodden communities have the most carefree parents when it comes to being involved in the school. My years in teaching in the MPS taught me parent-teacher conference come, I'm special education. I got 2 parents, right?
Right.
And
And
now,
I've been, I've worked for NPS for 20 years and
there you go.
special ed, and the same thing happened with me, 1 or 2 parents that you would have
But
um
now let me put
who
that
would
kid out.
come.
Let me put them out the
And
class.
that was
And here
it.
they come. Well,
But
but when I
I
put
have
them
my
out,
opinions on that too. And I'm not trying to give the parents an excuse.
okay.
But we're the most segregated city in the nation, and segregation breeds oppression. It breeds oppression. A lot of our parents are oppressed. A lot of the young people are oppressed.
Okay.
We do the best that we can. A lot of them are working. A lot of them are focused on, and I'm not giving them an excuse, but some of our parents are focused on survival, and they just need folks to talk with them, and try to get them to see
Can I
the importance of their voice at
can
a
I add
school
on to
board
that?
meeting, which
Go
is
ahead,
something
Kamar.
that we are trying to do.
I agree with both of y'all, right? And I'm just thinking about like I'm thinking about Kev when you saying it's the parents too. You know what I mean? Which is true. It's very true. But like we look at these same parents, you know what I mean? Let's look at their lifestyle, right? It's that same lackadaisical lifestyle. They own W-2, you know what I'm saying? They trust the government to give them and do everything for them. So they trust
Depend
in the
on the government.
schools to teach their kids. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain type of black people, parents that's like this. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. You know what I mean? Because like you got a lot of black parents that do go to the schools and do be involved and know the teachers and everything, but it's just those type of people, you know what I mean, that really don't care too much about their own life, I
No,
want
no,
to
no.
say,
No, I get that. I get that, Kamar.
or
But
the upliftment of their own life. So they really ain't thinking about too much. And like she said, they in survival mode. They trying to figure out how I'm gonna get some food on the table tonight,
yeah.
how I'm gonna feed these kids, or you know what I mean? I gotta get to the daycare to go pick them up when I get off work, and then I gotta cook dinner, and you know what I'm saying? It's one parent, and it's just a whole bunch of shit to add into that too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I agree with both of y'all. I think it's both.
Okay. Let me catch the chat room up. Dion says, bro, they got kids from my school that got special needs. Yes, they do. Mama Jenkins said, well, I'm happy to hear this because I'm going to find Randall tomorrow and ask him about this. He's always somewhere the Republican people are hanging out. I don't have a student in MPS, but I'm concerned about this money because I'm a taxpayer. This is fucking ridiculous not to have anyone knowing where these funds are. Well, somebody knows, but we don't have that person on the show.
Hey, she
Right?
said he always somewhere with the Republican
But
people.
she don't find his ass. Mama Jenkins is on your heels, Mr. Randall. Do you understand what I'm saying to you right now? Mama Jenkins said she want to know where her taxpayer money is going. Kamar, you make a great point, and Miss Bev, obviously, Miss Beverly makes a great point. But my thing is this: when we talk about them being oppressed, right? We talk about them being in survival mode. You don't come to parent-teacher conferences, but as soon as I put your kid out
Right.
in my classroom and
Yep.
say you
Now they
can't
at
come
your
in,
ass.
or I discipline him and he cuss at me
Right,
and I
right.
say, well, you get out my class.
Oh yeah.
Here
Oh
they
yeah.
come through the door. You, Mr. Barnes, let me tell you something. Oh, you don't tell
You're
Mr.
absolutely
Barnes nothing.
correct. You're absolutely correct. You're
And it's
So,
absolutely correct.
them type of people, them toxic type of people, you know what I mean? These parents. We got to
and
look at that,
Right.
man. And like
MPS is
again,
doing this, and of the parents, it's us. Miss Beverly says she don't have a kid in MPS. Mama Jenkins says she don't have one in the chat room. I don't have one. Real, is your babies in MPS? Are your babies in MPS?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the people who kids ain't in MPS that's still taxpayers that's complaining, and the people who got kids there is nonchalant about it. Y'all, they letting these people get away with this. Like she said, you go to school board meetings, Where the parents at?
Right. The parents are not coming to the school board meetings. I'm asking parents now to come on December 19th to speak about what's going on in NPS about this 1.3 million. They basically threw out the resolution to do an investigation, but we as taxpayers want them to investigate that $1.3 million given to the Republican Vice Chair Gerard Randall, going all the way back to 2011. That's something that we need.
And
And
Mama
the
Jenkins
only
said she
ones
gonna
who are going
find him.
to get that to happen are going to be the parents.
Mama Jenkins said she gonna find him. She said she gonna find him and ask him where that money at. Mama
Right.
Jenkins said,
That's going to have to happen
yeah.
because if they don't have any folks out there who care, then they're going to continue this pattern of doing what they want to do or what they desire with the money that they have for the students. And so parents have to start holding them accountable. And like I said, they do make it very difficult because they don't give out any information on where when the meetings are being held. Parents have to go to the NPS portal. You have to try to drag down the calendar and all of that. You can only speak at committee meetings. So parents can speak at this December 19th meeting because it's a finance committee meeting. This is the one you guys want to go to.
Okay. Dion is asking. He's in the chat room. Shout out to Dion. He says, how about Howard Fuller School? Let me tell you something. I can say this now because I no longer work for them. I worked for College Possible, and a lot of people don't know what College Possible is. What it is a nonprofit agency downtown that works with first generation college students, right? And black minority, people who low income students who will be first generation college students. You go into the school, you put coaches in there. We have a whole curriculum. Kids sign up. They go to after school workshops. They get walked through FAFSA applications, and they start as a junior and go all the way through school. So they even have a representative once they're in a school, right? Howard Fuller was one of our schools, and I was over the school. I managed the teachers, the instructors for our program in the school. I had about 11 schools across Milwaukee. Howard Fuller was one of my schools. I couldn't wait to go to Howard Fuller because I wanted to see how it worked. And I had been out of NPS. I had been out of the school system for a couple years. And I went into Howard Fuller, and I want to shout out the principal and I want to shout out her staff because they do all they can for the kids. And I want to say that. But College Possible ended up taking our program out of their school because they didn't have enough kids who qualified academically. They didn't have enough who qualified academically for school, for college, for us to justify keeping the program there because it's funding, right? So you say, well, they don't have enough kids. Marshall was the same way. They just didn't have enough kids. We had a cohort where we were down to like maybe seven kids. And normally pre-pandemic, they were having cohorts of 30 kids. Now, for me, if I could save 7 kids, especially minority kids, I'm good with it. But I don't write the checks. So my point is Howard Fuller, its intent is great, and they have a new building coming up, and I love the principal. She do everything. If she got to go in the classroom and teach, she'll go in the classroom. I think if she had to serve food, she'd go in the cafeteria and do it. You can tell that they care about the kids. But the kids that they're getting, it's an uphill battle because you're getting kids from some real crazy adverse situations. And these kids, I guess it's what Kamar was talking about when he was saying they come from these situations where the parents are just, they're part of the dysfunction. But it's like I said, it's not bad. It's not run badly. I just felt like it's just not enough for what our kids actually need. But they do a great job. I'm not knocking them like some people will. I think they do a great job with the kids that they have in their building. But that was my take on Howard Fuller School. I don't know if you have any experience with Howard Fuller Academy, Collegiate Academy.
Well, Kevin, I'm holding the phone close so I can hear you because when your phone rang, the volume went down. But they're building another school. I don't know if folks know this or not. A large school on the Cardinal Stretch campus. I
Hispanic.
think it's Saint Augustine. They're going to use that whole entire campus. It's going to be a K through 12 school. They are really going to compete with Milwaukee Public Schools.
Yeah, and this is
I mean, I
Hispanic
have my
owned.
feelings about the school because I know of a incident of discrimination with a child on the south side because that's where they're located. I mean, I don't know what they plan on doing over there, but yeah, they're going to that entire campus is going to be a school on the
Yeah.
northwest side.
Much to my chagrin, I got my master's from Stritch. I did my PhD studies at Stritch, and then they closed down on me, left me ABD. I'm just still mad about that. But yeah, but that organization is a Hispanic organization, correct? Like they're owned by a Hispanic group.
Well,
So
it's some type of it's a family, and from my understanding, they have helped in the community. They have helped, many folks who are downtrodden and oppressed. So they have given money. So let's hope that it's successful, and let's hope that they accept all students, not just
right.
the good kids per se.
And the
But I
beautiful
want to
thing
say
about
this,
that
and I'm
is
not hearing you very well, and I'm hoping you can hear me.
I can hear
I
you. We
want
can
you all
hear
to
you.
pay attention to something. The way they keep black folks oppressed in Milwaukee. Now, the article came out in the first it came out in the Wisconsin Public Radio through UWM. Then after that, it went in, Wisconsin Watch, and then the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel had to get the story of the 1.3 million given to Gerard Randall. Okay, with him putting the names of Superintendent Posley, the Wisconsin DPI director Jill Underly, Mayor Cavalier Johnson. Um, a
Little
bunch
man.
of folks on his tax documents saying they were on his board, and now they're all coming out and saying, "Well, he's lying. I'm not on his board." Okay, now come on. Now this is a big story. This story should be on MSNBC, MSNBC, CNN. They're not the same, but it needs to be nationwide. The Wisconsin Republican vice chair has received money and lied. All right, but it's not. And the reason it's not is because I want to know from any of you sitting here, did you see this story on any television station?
About Gerard Randall,
Right.
I haven't seen it anywhere.
Okay.
Other than your
Did you
post.
see this story about Gerard Randall in any black publication?
No,
Have
absolutely
you
not.
heard it talked about? Now, I don't listen to radio, the radio stations like I used to. Have they talked about it on Truth 100.7 or whatever? Have they talked about it on WNOB? Have they talked about it?
You know what? There's a chance. I don't think so because I haven't heard anything, but there's a chance because I don't listen. I'm like you. Maybe Michelle Bryan has discussed it. I
You
don't know. I
look,
don't know.
look. Let me say this, Cab, and I hope I'm not interrupt you as you're talking because, like I said, your volume's really low. The way that Milwaukee's oppressed is very segregated, and the way they keep folks down in this city, especially black folks, is just like they did during when the with the Emancipation Proclamation, when they freed all the slaves, and it took 2 years for them to go and tell the folks in Texas, you all are still out here picking cotton, but you're free. Okay.
Right.
And what they do in Milwaukee with the help of some folks that look like us is
Okay.
that they keep the story out of the ears and the minds of folks in our city.
Got you.
I'm going to tell you right now, Cab, I appreciate you having me on this radio station, but there are a couple of radio stations I want to get on. They did not get back to me, and I don't expect them to get back to me. Because, see, they have the sponsorship
Right.
from folks that we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So they don't want to ruffle any feathers. And that's why there's a communication breakdown here in the city. That's why we remain oppressed, because the information is not getting out there.
Okay, and you know what? you are making a great point that we make all the time, which is why I'm never invited anywhere. This is why. This is why they. This is why they
Oh,
won't.
when I go places in the social realm, they roll their eyes at me. I don't care.
Well, Outlaw Radio,
I don't
we've
give
been
a
around
damn.
9 years. I've been doing this 9 years, and some of everybody has been on here. It's a well-known platform, but you don't hear people say it out loud because it's underground and it's like you said, there's no sponsorship. Like we're as a matter of fact, Kamara and I, we decided a long time ago, we are the party poopers. Whether it's Republican or Democrat, if it's egregious to the people, we're going to call you on it. And so that means we don't have friends on either side of the fence. And so I get the same kind of rejection that you do. So, but it is what it
Right.
is. I don't really care about it. I did because I believe, and I've criticized our black media here and classified it as Chitlin circuit media. A lot of times,
Right.
we went to WNOV and kicked tail. Kamara and I, myself and Liz Brown, shut it down. Absolutely beautiful. The people were calling in. Oh my God, this is a breath of fresh air. We love it. They never called us back. We've never even been invited, but maybe Kamar has for House of
Of course
Vitality.
not.
No, I wasn't invited back either.
It's called trying to survive. I love the radio station. That I love the people, and they have to deal with they have to have money. Especially when you have the
You
black
got a business,
stations. They have to. We don't have all that capital.
right?
So they have to stay on. They have to keep their publications going. So they can't ruffle a whole lot of feathers. But come on, give the community the truth.
Right. Well, the thing is I think the white people who control the media, even with the truth here, it's supposed to be a black entity, but it's owned by white people who are basically Republicans. They tell you
Right.
they tell you what they think or what they want you to know. Black people like myself and other people who have Sire in the morning and other platforms, we tell you what you need to know. And so there's a
What you need
distinction.
to know, absolutely.
And so that's
What
why
you
I don't
need to
mind
know,
having
you are
somebody.
absolutely correct. Because, like I said, I said to myself, now when this story came out, here we have the Republican convention coming to Milwaukee in 2024, bringing all of this money, right? And finally, the story comes out about I heard rumors from because there's like 25 administrative whistleblowers trying to bring Keith Posey down. They're going to be successful, but but anyway. I had heard different things about Keith Posey's a Republican, and I've heard different things, okay, and that Randall's on the payroll, whatever. But anyway, the story finally comes out. I mean, you're just rumors. The story finally comes out in a reputable publication, and I'm like, okay, the story's finally out there. It's going to really, get people to realize that NPS needs a major investigation, a major audit. The story comes out in the smaller publications, then it goes into the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and not one television station in this city discussed that issue. They did not bring Gerard Randall up because the bosses of these stations, they're going to get a lot of money from that 2024 Republican convention, and they do
Man,
not want to ruffle feathers.
that's right.
But
That's
I'm
right.
telling the community now, we need to have an overflow crowd in that board meeting, okay, first step on December 19th, 2023 at 5:30 at 5225 West Valete, and let them know this will no longer be tolerated. We want to know what you're doing with every dime, considering that we have our children out here in this community oppressed.
There we go. Juice Lady, welcome to the show. Better late than never. How you doing tonight?
I'm well. How y'all doing?
We are great. We have Miss Beverly Williams,
And
Mrs.
while
Beverly
she's talking,
Williams.
I'm going to go out and try to come back in and see if my volume can go up.
There you go. There you go. We got Miss Beverly Williams here tonight, just talking turkey about. Oh, did we lose? Oh no, I lost. I took Courtney off my ball.
Don't be doing that. Hey, my shirt look all weird in the.
It does. You stripey.
Looking on the camera, look, I'm over here moving.
I'm getting dizzy.
Right.
Hey,
That's your phone. You got to get off that phone and get on a computer.
Don't be acting like this. Why? Go ahead and get dizzy with me.
No, man. Nobody wants to throw up during the show because Courtney gave him vertigo.
Look, close your eyes and listen. This is one of them times they need to do that. Just close their eyes and listen to us. Lay back. Mama
Jenkins says, I hear good things about Howard Fuller and MPC. College prep is good. I watched them. I've been in their building. I've observed them. Um, and I did it when I was working on my dissertation before I quit. I was looking into all the schools and how they manage their curriculum. And Milwaukee College Prep does some great things, and they have a lot of black teachers and they have black administrators. So it's a beautiful scenario. So you're right when you hear good things about them, Mama Jenkins. She said our children would not going nowhere. It's going to be Hispanics taking over for the next 5 years. Where you see all kinds of investment now into the Hispanic community, even here on the north side now, where they're saying, Monks, Hispanics, y'all come get this shit from these niggas. They won't do right. Y'all come on over here, man, and get these houses and get all this stuff. And don't forget Native Africans creeping in too. Hello, how you doing? Mama Jenkins said she said ain't nobody been talking about it. But she gonna bring it up at 7 a.m. to make sure that WNOV listeners hear about this. Okay. Tony Yolanda Blakely, welcome to the show. She said, I'm taking all this in with the new year, change the narrative on YouTube. I'm gonna need all y'all. Let us know what you need, my sister. Let us know what you need. Let us know what you need.
Yeah, but are people not seeing this in their neighborhoods? But I know I say it all the time when I'm driving through the hood. When I'm going through 24th and Burleigh, and I'm over there on Locust, and I always see them fixing up some houses, moving in some houses. I'm like, well, they taking over the hood, ain't they? So I know I see it. Don't nobody else see it? Or are we all just seeing it and we just saying it amongst each other like that? And just
that's what's happening.
Who can't see it? Like it's impossible to unsee, Courtney.
Man. They're fixing up all the cribs. I'm like, damn, we ain't got nothing.
Come on, man. Listen.
Right in. Like, sheesh.
Mama Jenkins said, Miss Barbara, please. She'll be back. She said, send me your information in those amounts. I will be enlightening them about Brother Randall. I'm gonna have to get Mama Jenkins. You can inbox Miss Beverly. She's having a lot of trouble with her audio. I don't know. It ain't on my end, y'all. So for y'all go to see, I got a flip phone. I'm using a different phone tonight because I'm having.
Because you having issues with the flip phone.
With my regular phone, it's broken, so I got to get a replacement. But it ain't because it's a flip phone, Courtney.
Oh, okay.
Right. The number for it is on the screen if you want to call in. By the way, it's 414-430-43, like black people say. Tony, Yolanda Blakely, she says we the blacks have to be re-indoctrinated. I thought we had to be unindoctrinated. She said, just as I'm listening, what I need is for you all to do the same. Yeah, send us your link to your show and come on this show, right? Hit the number. We welcome all opinions, man. We welcome any and everybody who's talking about something that's pertinent to foundational Black Americans is what Outlaw Radio is all about. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we welcome that. We ain't barring none on here. We don't run from no smoke. I was trying to sound tough, right? This shit don't even work no more. Let's see if we can get Mrs. Beverly back and get her audio straight. Can you hear me now? I just that commercial. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm straight. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. And Miss Jenkins, Mama Jenkins said she was making some comments in the chat room, and she said that she's gonna bring the thunder for this tomorrow morning on WNOV. And so she said she wants to communicate with you on getting the information and getting a dollar amount so she can enlighten the people about Randall in the morning on WNOV. So
if they don't interrupt her, they know about it. I mean, Kev, look, I'm not Gerald Jones is a good person, Michelle's a good person, Keon's a good person, all these folks at the WNOV are good people. Yeah. But all of these folks know about that 1.3 million that was given to Gerard Randall. They're all trying to sweep it under the rug because of the 2024 Republican convention.
A lot of money,
and the children, and our children are the ones losing out. Okay, yeah. Our children are the ones losing out. How in the world can Gerard Randall state that he sponsored, according to news reports, he sponsored a college fair, and then Lena Taylor and Saquana Taylor and some other folks say, well, no, he didn't. We did that. He only bought lunches. I mean, come on. I mean, give me a break. This should be a major story. This should be a major story. Visit Milwaukee, okay? They should be saying, well, we're going to move on from Mr. Randall if it's all true, okay, and we're going to get someone else or whatever. But they're trying. How can you not investigate that money?
I would like to say this too. I like to say this too, though, because we're coming up on election year, and it's very important for me to remind my people that this is when you make them pay. This is when these elected officials who have not done what they stated that they would do. Now, I'm looking at the mayor.
Absolutely.
We had a conversation on here about, we basically gave my brother David Crowley, who is a friend of the show, who's been on a bunch of times. I know Dave, did community organizing with him. Courtney knows him. We know him, right? He's a friend of the show. I can say that. And I could reach out to Dave right now, and I'm sure he would, speak with me. Shout out to his wife, Edot, as well. But I felt like I would reelect him. But right now I'm looking for somebody else over Brother Cavalier, because there's just so many things that little buddy ain't talked about. And MPS is one of them. I have not heard a comprehensive plan for education. Like, somebody tell me what policy he's come up and said.
Well, now let me say this. And Cavalier Johnson, he does some things that I look at as being positive for the community, and then there are some things like I'm very upset with him by accepting that that tax referendum with those 30-year stipulations where we can't help our community. I don't like that. Okay, and there's some other things, but that's the problem, Cav. Milwaukee Public School, the board, that's who we have to get after. Okay. The board, they are the governing body of that district. The city has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Milwaukee Public Schools.
I get that. Mm-hmm. I get that. But there has to be some initiative. See, this is the one thing that I've been telling people lately, y'all. In my 20
but he could have spoken out about the Gerard Randall
education. This is what I've been telling people. The spirit of collaboration needs to be implemented across the board. You got 1,000,001 organizations who have so much money allocated for people, and a very small piece of it gets to the people because these organizations try to work independently of each other. So if I'm the mayor, I'm going to the school board, I'm going to MPS saying, this is what the city wants to offer as an initiative for our young people. Even I'm not trying to take control. I
understand what you're saying. You're right.
They do it with Earn and Learn. They do it with Earn. I've worked.
Okay, you're right.
So
you're absolutely right.
And Mayor Barrett, Bad News Barrett, was over that, and they collaborated with MPS to do. They do it every year with Earn and Learn, and so he can't say, "Well, I have nothing to do with MPS." The hell you preach. You do
right. Okay. I see where you're going. Right. Okay.
That's
I see where you're going.
I'm not blaming him. What I'm saying is, as a mayor, as the first elected African American mayor,
right.
I expected more real leadership than seeing you hugging Fonzie with a bunch of white women and cutting ribbons on golf courses and getting egregious tax.
Absolutely right.
We gotta get down on our knees for Madison, excuse the expression. But I'm just saying, we done took it hard. Pause. We done took it hard, Black people in this city. Gentrification is more apparent than ever under his
mark. My God, yeah. Right.
So we have David King on here, and he goes Republican. That go to show you how serious I am about showing people, hire your ass, fire your ass. We'll vote you in, but we'll vote you out. We ain't going for the Obama no more. Where you told us.
Well, I'm going to say that now. I'm going to say this, Cat. I'm going to say this as a Democrat, and I don't care who folks can take it however they want to take it. I know David King. I'm going to say this. I know David King. He's a good person. He came out and he protested with us. It was a few of us, and he came out. He is a good person. I don't like his politics, because now I'm going to say this. Today, in this era, any Black person that claims to be a Republican needs to really take a hard look in the mirror, because the Republican Party today is a bunch of racist white supremacists. okay, who want to rid this country of our history. They want to ban books, all right? They don't want our children or anyone else to learn about the history of Africa and African American people, all right? They're trying to stop the Voting Rights Act that gave us the right to vote. So I'm passionate about that. Anyone who is black, who can, now I'm just going to say this, Cap. Anyone who is black, I'm gonna give them their respect. Like I said, David King's a very good person. He's a nice person, but the Republican Party, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
And
I think it's.
Hey,
what's up,
just tripping, right? Hey, if a black person is Republican, I mean, are they out of order?
You say are they out of order?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, yes, they're out of order. Because let me say this: it's no longer about top-down economics, okay, and bottom-up economics with the Democrats. It's about racism, white supremacy, okay? Treating us like, trying to treat black folks like and other people of color like they're less than. When you see these Republicans out here at these conventions, at their little Klan meetings, how many black folks do you see? You see that one black man talking about blacks for Republicans. Give me a break.
Now
that should tell folks right there.
The other side of the coin is a lot of us, myself included, will say that same racist liberal whose thing is, oh, poor Negro, let me give you a subsidy and push you to the side, exists within the Democratic Party. Liberal, bleeding heart liberals who really could give a damn about a black person. Their interest is to keep us subjugated as well, but they just use a different recipe. Listen, there's a lot of corporate Democrats in Madison who could care less about black people.
I beg to differ, buddy. I'm gonna say that. I beg to differ, friend.
We got a fight going there. We got a fight tonight. Listen,
yeah.
I tell you, Outlaw Radio. Listen. I give no racist white person a break, whether they are a Republican, a Democrat.
Who is the racist Democrat? Name the racist Democrat. Name the racist. So you telling me, after all those years of slavery, okay, you don't feel that black folks need help here and there. Now, the ones who don't need help, then do your thing. Okay? There's nothing wrong with it. You know what, Cap? Oh, my God. Look.
I totally understand that black people need help. What I'm saying is, if you are a white person who considers himself or herself a Democrat, but you are wealthy and you stay in the burbs and you never have to deal with the Negro problem, it's easy for you to be liberal and say, oh, poor black people, here, take this money. You don't really understand that, first and foremost, a lot of that creates a dependence that's plagued us too long. And I'm not saying get rid of it, but you don't really care. You just throwing money at it because you have it. You can't move in no rich neighborhood full of Democrats if you black either. They're not going to welcome you in because they're Democrats.
How do you know? How do you know, Kev?
I deal with racist white people 24 hours a day. I'm in Wauwatosa all the time.
How do you know?
I deal with them. I'm in Wauwatosa all the time. I'm dealing with suburban white people. Go ahead, Kamar.
I'm not with either party. Like, I vote for who I feel like policies and shit align with what I got going on, right? Because I feel like when you start talking about that, I feel like it's just like with police. People say, you know what I'm saying? You got good cops, you got bad cops. Okay, even with the parties, you know what I mean? In the parties, you got good ones, you got bad ones, you know what I mean? Racist ones on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I look at it like this too, like with good cops and bad cops. If the bad cops know what's going on and they don't help fix the problem, they part of the problem. So when I flip that to politics, you know what I mean? I feel like even with Democrats, if they know it's a problem with black people and they ain't doing nothing against that or doing nothing to help black people, you know what I mean?
Okay, but wait. But you have to look at the platform. You have to look at the platform and the policies that they're trying to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? You have to look at the policy and the platform, not always just the individual. Now, to be honest with you, that supposedly they say Cavalier Johnson's a Democrat. Supposedly they say David Crowley's a Democrat. Okay, now this is what they say. I'm going by what they say. Okay,
and they don't do nothing for black people. You know what
I'm going by what they say.
I like to judge people by what they've done.
Okay, I go by what they say. But what has a Republican done for you lately?
I feel like you could tell me anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but
what have you done? What does your track record?
But what has a Republican? Yeah, what has a Republican done for any of you all lately? Seriously,
nobody's done nothing, and that's that. Nobody's done nothing, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like both parties is fucked up.
Well, listen, you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I am going to go with the Democrats always. Okay, I will not. You know what? Like I said, I will not go with the Republican. Okay,
I want to say
those that you
said about the Republicans is absolutely true. I hate their attack.
Go Republican either.
I hate.
But let me say this.
I hate their attack on our history. I hate what Republicans. A lot of conservative Republicans. You are correct, and I would even go as far as to say a majority of them. They represent that old white baby boomer generation that just really don't care about black. I will say I agree with you. I'm not saying I'm ready to vote Republican. I'm saying I listened to David King as an individual. Like you stated, he was a good guy. I listened at him for his sincerity. I'm people over party. I'm people over party. I'm gonna tell you because there's so many things that the Republicans have done. And there's so many things that the Democrats have done. We know that in terms of mass incarceration, that's a Democratic initiative. And how we got to where we are and Biden is one of the architects of the bill, and he's the president, and he's a Democrat. And so I can't give either.
No, I think we need to go back and study it. I don't agree. That's not true, Cass.
Biden didn't help architect the 94 crime bill. Him and the Clintons,
come on. But what does that have to do with now? What does that have to do with now?
Crime bill have to do with now?
What does that have to do with now? And guess what? And let me say this, Governor
Beverly, I still have a lot of family members locked up from that. That's what it has to
do. But guess what? Governor Evers right now has pardoned more folks in jail.
I still have family.
I think it's 1,100 now.
In prison.
He's pardoned these. Go on.
I said I still have family members in prison since the 90s.
Okay, you don't think I have? Many of us do. Right.
And you know what I mean? With cases that they shouldn't be locked up like that for.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, and you ask, what does it have to do with now? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, this is some of the stuff.
I do too. But I mean, come on. You know what, guys? Let me say this. Let me say this, Kmart. Okay, go on, Kmart.
What Democrats did then is affecting us now. I was just answering a question which you asked. That was something that Democrats did then that affects us now.
Okay,
but let me ask you this, Kamar. You're right, but let me ask you this.
There's a problem in Wisconsin. It is.
Yes, it is. We have like 47%. But let me say this, guys. Let me say this. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a choice, America. Forget all these no labels and all these other different parties popping up. We have a two-party system. You have a choice between Democrat or Republican. Okay, period. Until that's the way that's life. That's life. That's the way the world is. You have a choice between Democrat and Republican. For now, unless some folks really get together.
You have another choice, Miss Beverly.
What choice, Cam?
Our people use is not to vote, and that's why our turnout is so low. Our people see both.
Okay, and then when they choose not to vote, you get crazy folks like Looney Tunes, like Trump in office.
Who pardoned
so it gets down to the point.
He pardoned a lot of people too. Trump pardoned a lot of people too.
Right.
Give me a break.
Like I'm gonna
Give me a
my
break.
legs gonna explode.
You know what, Cab? Trump can't stand the ground you and I walk
Absolutely, I
on. He
understand that.
cannot stand the ground
I
we
know.
walk on. Now, black folks just have to go out and vote and say, well, I'm going to look, I want them to vote Democrat and for Biden. But if they have to go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to vote Democrat today because I do not want a white supremacist in office, then that's what they have to do.
I'm
I must let
I've
you know,
been
don't
so
play.
vocal about Trump forever. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying you
Yeah.
said Evers pardoned. Well, Trump did too. And so when we talk about who did what, once again, you ask who's done what. And so we're talking about the mass incarceration still being a very serious because the school to prison pipeline is a direct result of the crime bill, right? Private owned prisons
Yes,
are a
yes,
direct result of
right,
the crime bill. This is Hillary
right.
Clinton saying that we are predators, young black males. And at the time, I just so happened 1994, let me do the math. I just so happened to be 17, 18 years old, right? Getting ready to go
Mm.
into the world.
No,
And
wait a
they
minute. You
told
say
me,
Hillary Clinton.
and
Now,
they
you know
told
why?
me,
You say Hillary Clinton said
and
what?
they told me our life expectancy was 19 and a half years old. And what they were doing is making sure that the crack stayed in the streets so that these prisons could be populated. And so that's a Democratic initiative. They can try to duck it now, and it's cool. I hear Biden, he tries to duck, he ducks a lot because he's normally sleep. And he's lied as a Democrat. He lied about a lot of stuff to get elected. So once again, I'm not ready to vote Republican, and I'm no Trump fan. What I'm saying is all of the stuff he promised us when he came in office. What about law enforcement reform? What about loan forgiveness? I get people gonna say we can't get nothing through Congress. I'm just saying
Right. Well, I mean,
a lot of the stuff
he's
he said
done
he wasn't
all that
gonna
he
do.
can do. He has done all that he can do with his presidential pen, But Congress has been like we don't even have a Congress. There's not even a Congress. It's a bunch of hypocrites. It's not even Congress. Come on.
And some of them are
Okay.
Democrats.
My thing is most of
The
these people.
majority. Look, we can't get anything done in Congress right now because of the Republicans. They can't even vote for a House Speaker. Come on. They're a party of hypocrites. They're a party of hypocrites, and they're pushing chaos.
Go ahead, Courtney.
I was saying,
I'm sorry.
going off how Trump is a white supremacist, and most of the people that we work for are white supremacists or racist. You know what I'm saying? Most of our bosses in these companies are racist and that can't stand black folks. And if
or
it
gay.
was Hillary Clinton,
But Courtney, are they running your country?
But who's to say if we get somebody else in that they're not a white supremacist just because they smile a little bit more, just because they're a little bit more friendly? That doesn't make them not a white supremacist just because he's more open with his. Then the other person could be the same thing. Biden could be the same thing. He's just a little quieter. We never know.
So
Biden has made
so
many
you want to
racist
so
statements
you
over
don't
the
care
years. He
about
said
your
he wouldn't-
children. You don't
he
care
said he
about
wouldn't let
going
his
back
kids
to
go
the
to school
field.
with us.
Courtney, you don't care about going back to the field picking cotton.
I do care about that.
I ain't
Okay.
going back.
That's something because
I ain't going back.
I'm saying that because let me tell you.
Hey, I got an AR-15. I ain't going back to the fields. Give me freedom and give me death. I'm not taking
They're
this
not
out.
going to let you have a gun.
I got it already.
We was just
They're going to take it from you if you put Trump in there.
Somebody gonna die trying because it's gonna be a shootout.
Hey, listen, we was just talking about that crime bill, right?
Yeah.
Miss Beverly, you just asked, are we going back to the fields? They sending us back to the fields with that crime bill.
And that was Biden.
That's where they holding us legal slavery in the prisons.
And
they literally sending us back to the fields through that crime bill.
Let me
That's
catch
how
my
it's
chat room,
affecting
y'all.
us now. Another way.
Let me catch my chat room. Let me catch the chat room right quick because if I get behind, Courtney be mad and be on my heels about everything. Tony Yolanda Blakely, she says unindoctrinated is technically impossible because it's been for centuries and from generation to generation. She said is to bring the truth about the valuable worth blacks have. Education is key in the dismantled thought of society. I'm just saying. Okay. Mama Jenkins is saying Randall. That's his last name. Sharon Evans agrees with you. She said, word, Kamar. Mama Jenkins said David King talked the talk, but I hope he can walk the walk. I like him as a person, but as a Republican, She said, "Me can't do that."
Right. Absolutely. Thank you. Who is this?
That's Mama
Thank you.
Jenkins.
I mean, that's the way I feel.
Right. Ernest Walker said Republicans are showing us their racist plans daily. They ain't hiding it. When you don't vote against it, you picking your own tree. You plant your own tree, I think he's saying. He said, we can be upset with Democrats, but we can't be dumb enough to allow this white supremacy Republican agenda to work.
Thank you.
Okay. I got a caller.
Right. Absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Caller, can you hear me?
Mm.
Let me see if my new phone system is working correctly. Caller, can you hear me? Hold on, Dion. Hold on. I ain't getting you. I mean, my Bluetooth ain't Bluetoothing. All right. Hey, man, this is
Hey,
new
I
stuff
remember
here.
reading something somewhere where they were saying black people were the original Republicans.
Well, that was the party of Lincoln. It's the party
You
of
know
Lincoln.
what? Okay. Yeah.
Somebody explain this to me. I'm not saying let's be Republican. I'm not with neither Republican nor Democrat.
I understand what you're saying. The Republican Party split. You had the Dixiecrats, who are of the racist Republicans of today, and then you had the Lincoln Republicans, who are like the Democrats of today. Okay, and that was because he wanted to end slavery, and the other folks, they were thinking about the bottom line, which is money, and they wanted to keep producing that cotton and the peanuts and whatever else they had out there. They wanted to keep doing that, and Lincoln wanted that to end. And so the Dixiecrats are the racist. I call them, their moniker to me is the racist Republicans, are the racist Republicans of today. I just don't understand. I just don't understand anyone black who I don't care. I'm just going to say it. Who even claims to be a Republican?
Can you hear me? I can't. I'm not getting you on through the system. Let me try something else. Give me a second, Dion. Let me work through this because I'm using a spare phone, so I have to because my phone got messed up.
Yeah.
No, this actually is an iPhone. It's a new one too. It's my other phone.
The new phone.
I got more than one phone. I'm Kevin Gates, right? I got more than one phone.
Wow.
Yeah. I know y'all like to think I'm such an amateur.
Big baller.
Ain't like that. I don't want the IRS to be coming for me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying, Dion, give me a second. I got to figure that phone situation out because I like for my crowd to be my people to be able to chime in. She said, let me get the chat room caught up before we continue. It's Outlaw Radio. Know about it tonight on Hump Day Edition. We got the esteemed Mrs. Beverly Williams with us tonight. We got the witch doctor in the building. We got Fonzarelli, and we got the Juice Lady here with us, right? Taking a break from classes, right? She a whole student. Mama Jenkins said they're getting ready to build a new Green Bay prison, and it's going to be people lined up to enter because they're giving big time to these young fellows. Most are getting 25 plus. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine, Taco Sword. Happy birthday, Taco. Big Taco, I love you. We worked in juvenile justice together, and he was saying how he has some people in his family, youngsters, who have recently at least three who have gotten 35 plus years in prison. And so he said, they going in and they're going to be in there with that attitude like I ain't never getting out. Because we were talking about the conditions in Waupun and these prisons, and he was saying, you got to understand what goes down in prison, man. He's been locked up. So he said, you got to understand how a penitentiary runs. And he said, you got brothers in there that ain't never coming home and they know it. What rule you think they going to follow? They going to do what they want to do because they got to make their living situation as livable as possible for themselves, or they got to speed their death up. Now, I wanted to say that the mass incarceration problem, the drug epidemic, the economic problem that we have in this country, Democrats they can't back away from it. They're part of it too. But I am with you all on, I think the Republican Party is still doing just enough to make me say, I ain't fucking with y'all. Right? Like, you don't get my vote. But my point is that black people end up not voting at all. So that's why we need the Afro Party. We need all of these black religious organizations to bury the hatchet and come together. We need the conservative Negro and the progressive and the liberal Negro to come together. And we need to form our own political party. Our vote is very important in this country. And we need to corner the market on it and say, you know what? We're going to have a majority amongst the minority. Do what you need to do or you won't get this black vote. As long as we just say, well, it's just two parties, ain't nothing we could do. We got the power to do something bigger than anybody because we can create our own party. We create independent record labels. We can come together and form a street gang or a drug cartel. So why can't we make our own political party?
Right.
And I'm not talking about one that's dependent on the tit of Democrats or Republicans. I'm talking about a true black political party that goes at politicians and say, we're going to put our own politicians in office. This is why I keep saying people complain about what white people do in this country instead of just getting like them. They're corrupt. So why don't we just get corrupt? If they pay their politicians off for influence, we need to do that. We got black billionaires, but you know, they too busy renting out sex workers for their girlfriends. Huffy, right? I mean, I know, my bad, y'all. I slipped a little bit. Dion said, we keep on looking to our oppressor to free us or give us justice. This is very true. It's very true. Very true.
They just started the drug cartel to finance their political party. I mean, like white folks did. Like that's how that goes.
It out. We just need to start with some flyers and shit. We got to send that shit worldwide. Let them know that's at the Afro party.
But that, you know, that's just it though.
You know what? Let me say this to you all too, because I had to leave for a minute. I heard what you said, Cav. Let me say this. You all were talking about the incarceration rate of African Americans, the black folk, in Wisconsin and the country and stuff. While we were laughing at Trump was filling those courts with nothing but Republican-leaning judges. Okay.
Yep.
So we have a Republican SCOTUS, Supreme Court, and we have a bunch of Republican judges out there. You know, with this unfair sentencing and all of this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know, as I said to you all, when black folks are able to unite and create a party, okay, which, you know, going all the way back, I'm just gonna be honest with you all when I say this too, and we need to work on this. Going all the way back to slavery, they separated the black family, and it's still happening today. They separated the black family. They created division. Okay. Right now with the Voting Rights Act, and see, we live up here in Wisconsin, but folks in the South are still dealing with trying to go to the polls and vote and having the police pull them over on voting day and say, you have a warrant from 10 years ago, and we're going to arrest you, and doing all kinds of things, closing down polling sites, all kinds of things. All right. That they did, in the earlier, having these folks say the alphabet backwards, in order to vote. Right now with the Voting Rights Act, I don't know if you all know this, because of Republican judges, they have said that when folks are dealing with all of this oppression and disenfranchisement in these southern states, they can no longer take these folks to court. Okay, the civil rights organization like the NAACP, which is the oldest civil rights organization in the world, they can no longer take cases to court saying you are denying them the right to vote, because they have eliminated that with the Voting Rights Act. That's what Republicans do for you. And I'm telling all of you, I understand everyone has their feelings about the penal system. I understand that things are not the way we feel they should be. But I am imploring everyone of color to vote Democrat, okay? To vote Democrat, because the reality of the situation is we have a two-party system. And those who do not vote, you are going to put Trump right back in there, okay? A person who cannot stand the ground you walk on, you're going to put him right back in there in office.
Yeah, but don't vote blindly and don't sit back and just vote Democratic and don't hold their feet to the fire. The problem is,
absolutely not.
A lot of us are so in love with Massa that we vote for him. We say, well, boss, take care of us again. And we just sit back.
Guess what, Cav? If I wanted to
call them out. We don't call them out enough.
Kev, if I wanted to tomorrow, just like
Democrats, we ain't calling out the Democrats we got now enough. We don't call them out enough. We need to call them out more.
I understand what you're saying, Kev, but just like you were talking about, parents have to start speaking up, going to parent teachers conference, all these different things. Guess what? Tomorrow or next week, if myself, Courtney, Kmar, you, if we want to join that Democratic Party, we can join that Democratic Party and we can have a seat at the table and let them know what we feel they are not doing or that they should be doing for people of color or for Black people. I like saying African American. Everybody say Black now. But
we just had a Democratic mayor for 20 years and this city is in a boo-boo hole because of him. And it's been in this Republic. I get the judges. We've talked about the judges. We talked about the need to make sure that these conservative Republican judges get removed. But he was horrible for Black. He smiled. See, a lot of Black people. I'm telling you, I just so happen to be one that's done worked everywhere and been everywhere. Most of the times, if I go anywhere,
I have too.
Where there's elected officials or leaders or the major name brand Negroes in this city, when they see me, they'll say, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Because they know I done been somewhere working with them or for them, right? And so
right.
I look at what Mayor Barrett did. I seen a lot of Black people used to get the shoe footing when they'd see him. Oh Lord, there go the mayor. Hey, Mayor Barrett, how you doing? He said, "Hey guys, how you doing? You having problems? Call me." And then billions of dollars went downtown for infrastructure, and the city our neighborhoods went to hell. There's $20 million of allocated federal money through community development block grants that the city will not allow an outside audit of because they diverted a lot of the money downtown, and that money's supposed to go to building up the infrastructure for the Black community, for impoverished communities. Barrett was down with it. He rode that train. So when you start telling me about how nice Democrats are, how much they love us.
No, I mean, like I said, with me, when I talk about the Democrats, okay, I'm talking about the platform. I'm talking about policy. Now, I will admit, I am extremely disappointed that not only Mayor Cavalier Johnson, but also Milwaukee County Exec David Crowley, okay, and Governor Evers, they went into this meeting with lowdown Robin Voss, and they allowed him to put 30 years of stipulations on those taxes, saying you cannot use those taxes for any kind of woke initiatives. You cannot use any of those taxes for anything that you need done in your community, like the bad streets. We know we have horrible streets.
So why are you? So
you cannot use those.
So why?
But now I'm going to say this. Oh, I'm sorry, come here. What did you say?
No, I was saying, so if you know all this about what's going on with the Democrats now, why are you telling all the Black people to strictly vote Democrat? If we do that, then that means we're going to keep voting for this same dysfunction.
No, that's not true. But let me say this to you. Let me tell you this. Okay?
If we keep voting Democrat, Democrats going to stay in office.
Okay, now we're talking about local right now. Okay, we're talking about what's going on.
Yeah,
but at the same,
that's what I'm talking about. If we
right, but at the same,
these same Democrats that's in office, who we talking about now, gonna stay in office if we keep voting Democrat.
Right, I understand what you're saying, Kmar, look at that logic. But I will say this, and I'm not taking up for Cavalier Johnson because my friends will tell you. Okay, I look at everything. Right. Although they say they were put in a corner with this 30-year stipulation, and they're claiming that they're going to go to SCOTUS for it. I want to say about 2 weeks ago, there was some funding that came in, and I need to, find it for you guys. I think I may have posted it. And Cavalier Johnson, he knew he was wrong about that 30-year tax. He took that money and he put it into the inner city, or the urban areas, or to, the Black community. I need to find it, Cav, and I'm going to let you know. I might call in next week and let you know what it is. But he took a bulk of that money and he put it into the urban area of the city of Milwaukee. He didn't get a lot of fanfare, but he did.
Where did he put it?
Okay, so he's trying. Now, I don't know. I'm sure if we were to sit down with Crowley, Johnson, and Evers and ask them, why in the hell did you allow them to put those 30-year stipulations on us, is something that they may say this, that, and the other. Now, some people have said, well, The reason why they did is because now Milwaukee has more autonomy as far as getting money. Okay. I'm still perturbed about it personally. I'm still perturbed about that. I'm still perturbed about giving the money to the Brewers Stadium, the taxes. You know, how you going to get a Brewers money and not
This is
give
all
money to the
done
folks
under
in the city?
Democratic watch. Listen,
It doesn't
Mama
matter. So
Jenkins,
what? I mean, it
Mama
does matter. But
Jenkins,
tell me this. Let me say. Tell me this. What are the Republicans going to do for you, Cav?
well, listen. Let me say this. First of all, let me catch my chat room.
Because it's wait, hold on. It's a Republican Senate.
Before I answer
here
your
on the
question.
show, here on the show,
Let-
we say
no.
neither none of them gonna do nothing for us.
Hold on, let me catch
No,
the chat
let
room
me take
before
off
I
my
respond.
jacket. It's a
And he says voting is for policy, not equality. Remember that. That's Dion in the chat room. Mama Jenkins said jails
okay,
is just
good.
another form of slavery. The only difference is their cells are not fields. Okay, Dion says there's no such thing as freedom or independence for African Americans. We're still in bondage. She said that Mama Jenkins says a felon in the White House. That's what they're trying to do with
Okay,
Trump.
wait, hold on.
Well, were they trying to put a felon
The
in the
Trump,
White
he's
House?
not in there yet. But if the folks
Not
keep
yet,
talking
right?
and talking this stuff, then
Ewok
he
says
might
keep
get in there.
allowing Republicans to win elections, and they'll make it where you can't vote for a black political party.
Thank you.
So it sounds
Thank
like
you.
Ewok is leaning more towards the Republicans. But I'm saying this. Okay, I'm saying this.
Well, he said, wait, stop. He said keep Republicans in office. Isn't that what he said?
He said if we keep allowing them to win elections, they're gonna make it where
Right.
we can't vote for a black political party.
Right.
But my point is this: we just named off almost everything we said the Republicans have done, the Democrats have also done, is what I'm saying. Because we both agreed that the way Republicans approach us and trying to erase our history and with this critical race theory thing, and you got this fool in Florida, and there's so many crazy, wild, stupid old white men in positions of power across the country that want to assault our history. But your Democratic mayor just signed off on it. He signed off. He didn't even fight. I think the best quote that I've seen this whole year, and I still say this should be quote of the year, is when they went downtown, and this was in the Journal Sentinel, and they asked them, well, what's going to happen if we resist this? And he said, well, we'll go bankrupt. And Mama Jenkins said, well, let's go bankrupt then. I thought that
Well, I said that too. I said let's go bankrupt. I said, well, we'll go bankrupt. Right. That made national news. And I said that, yeah, but let's go bankrupt. But let me say this, Cav. When you now I'm gonna say this to you. When we have a Democratic Congress in Milwaukee, and we have a Democratic Senate in Milwaukee, and then we have these Democrats who are running the city right now. When we have all of them Democrats and we have that 30-year stipulation, then
what the hell?
Okay, oh my boy flames are good. Then we can say the Democrats are no better than the Republicans. But see, you have a Republican, so we have a gerrymandered legislation in Wisconsin because of unfair maps. So we are the laughing stock of the nation having a supermajority Republican legislature. We have all Republicans in the Congress, all Republicans in the Senate, and they pigeonhole a lot of Democrats. They really do. And I understand what you're saying too about they could have fought harder. I wasn't in the room when they told them, they had this 30-year stipulation.
They're going to do a lawsuit, which is going to also have to be paid for by taxpayers, and this could take years.
That's what they claim,
right? Which is cowardly and soft. We call that simping on this show. That's a simp move, right? And so this is why
I will admit, Cav, as a Democrat, I am disappointed in that whole 30-year stipulation with those taxes. But I also know that
my mom used to tell me all the time when she came here from Mississippi, and she said she moved to Milwaukee on January 1st, 1959, and she was 17 years old. And she said, I was so happy to get out of them cotton fields in Mississippi, and white people on my ass calling me nigger, and they hanging us and they lynching us and beating us. And she said, I got to Milwaukee and I found out you couldn't go north of Walnut on the city bus without them saying nigger and putting that nightstick on your ass and beating you down. And she said, I go apply for jobs and they'd have a sign on the window say coloreds need not apply. She said, the one thing I learned is the white man is racist everywhere. There's no such thing as a white person or white people who like black people. And any black person that fails to realize that at the core, they just don't like you and they start to get friendly with them and they start to get cool with them. She said, you will soon see that nigga dancing a jig somewhere. And I've always looked at it like whenever black people make themselves affable, user-friendly Negroes, because that's what Mayor Johnson did to Madison. He even added, hey, we got a relationship with Madison. And I'm saying, wait, Skippy Walker took millions of dollars from Milwaukee during the housing crisis. Madison owes Milwaukee an apology. Why we got to make it right with them? They need to make it right with us. We're the largest tax contributors. We generate more money to this state budget than anybody. There's suburban areas, they share our water. They're looking, because you can go up north on Lake Michigan, they don't got no water processing plant. You got to come to Milwaukee. So, but why we got to kiss ass when everything is here? But we got to bow down for them. He could have easily said, hey, we can do the increase. We ain't doing that other bullshit y'all put in there.
Right.
But that affable, user-friendly Negro mentality makes you say, okay, guys, whatever you want us to do, because he ain't gonna be alive when 30 years from now. He ain't gonna be mayor. he ain't gonna be around. What'd you say, Courtney?
We need a mayor like you, Kev.
You know what? If I was the mayor, I'm telling you, I'd be more Coleman Young. I really would. It would be hell to take to the captain, because I go in Madison and I let them know when y'all start playing with us, we'll shut. Because if I'm a mayor, I say, let's boycott the state as the city of Milwaukee. We ain't spending no money. What? I know my community. I can make my community stop spending money, which would bring this whole economy to its knees. If you don't realize you have that kind of power, you ain't gonna even step into that realm. That's what I'm saying. Most of the Democratic Negroes are user-friendly, affable Negroes. They become the white man's friend. It becomes them Obama, I'm everybody's president type Negroes, while they laughing, calling you a monkey behind your back, getting ready to storm the Capitol because it's a nigger in the White House. But you still saying, oh, them some good white folks, right? So I'm just saying, if we're gonna get
not Cam, I'm not gonna agree with that.
Okay. I knew you was gonna stop me sooner or later.
I'm not gonna agree with that.
How long she gonna let me rant?
Wait, I had to step away for a minute. I'm not gonna agree with that. Okay. Absolutely not.
That's cool.
I mean, you have your opinion, I have mine.
That's right.
And
that's why all black people need to be united. We don't need to be
because you know what, Cam, you know what? Now, what about the Republicans out here? They're supposed to call themselves Republicans who are black.
Well, I think some black people are looking for an alternative. I think they're
give me a break. How are you gonna look for
they need to get with the program too. That's what we say.
How you gonna look for an alternative as a black? Give me a break.
Need to get with the program.
Oh my God.
What we said is we need our own land.
How are you gonna look for an alternative from a white supremacist?
Just how I looked at David King.
What's their alternative?
I'm looking for an alternative from Mayor Johnson. I was willing to hear this brother out because he's a black man with principles and morals, and he was willing to have a conversation. So I'm.
Well, how do we know he's a Democrat? How do we know he's a Democrat?
He's a Republican. He said he was a Republican on the show.
Who? Which one? David?
Yeah, he said.
Oh, I'm okay. I thought you talking about John. I'm sorry. How do we know Johnson is Johnson? In my opinion, I don't know if you knew him before he became mayor. I never heard of him before he became mayor.
Well, I was aware of him because of and even with a lot of the grassroots organizing that I was doing, we would run across him as an alderperson. And so I was aware of him and his ascent to his position on where he is. And this was the concern in a lot of circles.
Well, how was he as an alderman?
For Mayor Barrett. They were saying he was a puppet for Mayor Barrett. That's why people were mad with when he got elected. There was a lot of black people saying, oh no, here we go again. We got an Uncle Tom in there. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
it's like I said,
we went back and forth about that when he first got elected, got in there.
We did
went back and forth about that. I'm like I said earlier in the show, I judge you from how you've been, what you've done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look like you fell.
The phone fell.
No, my phone fell. My phone. I'm pleased. If I fall, you're gonna hear me say, "Ow!" No, that was my phone. My phone flipped over.
I like I watch I watch politicians by what they've done.
Okay.
You know, and like when he came in office, I was telling Kevin, but he ain't did shit yet. Why we feel like why we gonna give him a chance to just start thinking he finna start now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What?
Like, no, he gonna continue to be that puppet so he could continue the ascension that he's been on.
Yeah. What did David say he was gonna do?
Well, you know what? He made a lot of promises, but I think Crowley's focus has been trying to get the county, because the county was having money problems because of the pensions. And see, those pensions that they signed,
I mean, the city was too. Everybody.
Hold on. Those pensions that we have that are giving us so much trouble to this day, those were Democrats who established that pension funding back in the days, and they all retired. You got county.
You mean Amen with Amen?
All of those, yeah. When they brought it
with
in,
Amen,
yeah, those were Democrats.
right.
And so once again, we talking another level. And so I think number one, DC has been instrumental in trying to get that done. And I don't agree with everything he's done, because I think, and knowing that he comes from the turf, from the soil, I know I did community organizing with him. I know he is a person that's very, very passionate about our people, because I worked side by side with him. But I'm like, don't become too user friendly. See, as a black man, you got to.
Well, since you close to him, did you ask him? Did you ask him the reason why he agreed to that 30 years stipulation?
I haven't spoken to him since then. I haven't spoken to him since he got big. He used to come on when he wasn't as famous.
Why don't you invite them on, and they can tell us the reason why they agreed with that?
To be honest with you, is because I don't want to hear the smoke. I don't want to get the hand job. I don't want to hear the smoke and mirrors. I already know they have a political kind of safe answer to get. Well, Kevin, you got to understand. And I just ain't in the mood to hear it. And I'd be done, I'd have been and went off and start cursing, and then it'd be just bad. So I just don't, because I know.
If let me say this, we're gonna have a voice again. If Wisconsin wins that, they have a lawsuit out there now. They're fighting in court about gerrymandered maps, and one of the things they're going to do is they're going to have an election for every single congressman in our I don't know if it'll be Congress and Senate, but I know for a fact every single congressman, whether they're up or not for election, will have to run again.
Right. But you know what?
If they win.
Here's the fallout from Democrats with mass incarceration. Because we have so many young black males locked up and dealing with this school to prison pipeline, we're not preparing young black politicians to step into these positions. See, that's another thing we don't do very well, is manufacture our own leaders. We allow white people to tell us who we should follow. They tell us who our leaders should be. They say yay or nay. If there's a black man speaking out, being vocal, and really speaking to the issues of the people, and you look at Obama, disassociating. How you gonna disassociate yourself from the minister? And people, other black people who really are telling the truth about what's going on? You doing it because them white folks told you to do it.
Wait. Go back to what you said. Wait a minute. Go back to what you said about Obama, because some of this stuff you saying, I feel is untrue. What did you say about Obama?
Obama disassociated himself from the minister. He would not accept the minister, Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, who, in my opinion, is the only real black leader we have in America today. He allowed them white people to tell him.
Oh, come on, Kev. Let me say this now. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, Kev. Okay, now I'm a Christian. I consider myself a Christian. And Obama, just based on his religious affiliation, he considered himself a Christian. Okay, they were already calling the man a Muslim and talking about he's with Osama bin Laden and all of this. So what did he do with Farrakhan? You're saying that he didn't give him a platform to listen to him? What didn't he do?
I'm gonna tell you what he did. Farrakhan, the minister spoke very highly of him.
No, Obama. You saying something about Obama did not listen to Farrakhan.
I'm telling you what he did. I'm telling you what he did. The minister spoke very highly of Obama. He gave a glowing review of him and said, because of what he had done in Chicago, he supported him. He even said, I don't expect you to be a Muslim, but I acknowledge what you've done. I think you are a great leader for our people. And he gave him an endorsement. The white people who handled Obama, Barry, what we call him, The white people who handled Barry told him, you better not accept that endorsement or you're going to piss off Jewish people and you're going to lose a lot of votes. And so he said, I'm not even going to accept his endorsement nor acknowledge him. He never even acknowledged him. He disassociated himself from the minister who was in Chicago. And the nation
okay, I don't recall that.
In Chicago, they do a lot of work in Chicago that enabled Obama and them to do what they was doing. And so he wouldn't even acknowledge him. So if you acknowledge another black man because the white man said so, that makes you a white folks nigga.
You know, Kev, you know what?
He did that with one of them pastors in Chicago.
Jeremiah Wright.
You know what, Kev? I'm gonna have to research that, okay? But I don't know anything about that. Because I will say this. When I was with the NAACP, the Nation of Islam, they helped us in many areas. They helped us get out the vote. They helped us with many things. Okay, as a youth council advisor, I recall the Nation of Islam did help us, just as other churches, Baptist church, other denominations. Okay, but I don't know anything. I have to research that about Obama and what you're saying about Farrakhan. All right, but I do know with Obama being a Christian, just like I'm a Christian. I don't know what happened. And I was just trying to listen to what you were saying. But I will research that. But Kev, let me go back to this and then I'm gonna get off.
What the
I do want
important too. He said we're not going as a people, we ain't gonna argue about religion. We don't know what the hell it means anyways. We'll argue about that when we get free. That's unifying speak. That says all of us, let's be black and get our freedom before we start dividing ourselves about what church you go to. You go to the slave master church. You go to the Arab church. We arguing about white people arguments. We shouldn't be arguing about that. We should all be united. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm ranting. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's your opinion.
Right. Yeah. No, but I want to give
that's your opinion, Kev.
Right.
No, Kev, I'm listening. I'm listening. I mean, we all have different opinions. This reminds me of when because I went to HBCU. And this reminds me of all my friends from all, a lot of young people need to go to HBC, Historical Black College University. But this just reminded me of all my friends from all walks of life, from all over the country, how we would sit around and talk about politics and everything. Everybody had their own opinion. So I respect your opinion just as you respect mine, So there's nothing wrong with that. But what I want to get back to real quick, as far as December 19th, Kat, I really need the community, and I'm hoping that up until that point, if you can just, if you think about it, you okay, Mar? Or I know Courtney was on here. I don't know if she's part of your panel. And this gentleman right here. Okay. If you, Kmar and Courtney, one of you, that every time you have your show, if you can just say, community, please come out to the meeting on December 19, 2023 to discuss finances within MPS. Because what you have to understand, not only did Gerard Randall, Wisconsin vice chair of the Republican Party, receive $1.3 million since 2011 without giving us any type of accountability as tax-paying citizens, they almost gave him $75,000 on November 16th. And so the board said, well, we're not going to give it to him. So now we have to decide on what we're going to do with that money. Okay? So at that meeting, if any citizens have ideas of what they think should be done with that $75,000, I mean, it's just a little, not a whole lot of money. But if they have any ideas of what they think should be done with it, bring your ideas to that meeting. What needs to happen in MPS to make sure all of our kids are having more success? Okay, not just a small percentage, although I guess the scores did go up. But, so that's one of the things that we need to talk about. Also, they need to submit another resolution saying that they're going to go back all the way back to 2011, and they're going to give tax-paying citizens a report on what was done with that $1.3 million that was given freely to Gerard Randall's Milwaukee Education Partnership without any other nonprofit organizations competing. Okay, now that in itself, just so you all know, was illegal. because MPS is not supposed to give any nonprofit organization funds like that without bidding, unless it's $5,000 and under. See, that was illegal in itself. So we need, as citizens in Milwaukee, we need more accountability about what they're doing with that money. And even if MPS parents can just start alternating and going to these MPS board meetings, that would help our community and having their say and letting them know this is what we think needs to be done. And no, we don't think money should be spent on this, that, or the other. But they need to know that they have a voice and they need to get out there and they need to speak. Because also, let me put this in here. There's some research out that says, and we always make the statistics, Milwaukee, Wisconsin has the highest number of citizens who do not have high school diplomas. Okay. Yeah, we have the highest. Yeah, we have the highest. We have the highest stats in that area. Okay, so that lets us know that something's wrong with our educational system here, with public, private, choice, charter. What needs to happen. Right. And so we need to start coming together on that. But there's a lot of funds, like I said, missing, and we also want the community to stay on the Milwaukee County DA. Call their office and say, hey, are you going to do an investigation on that $1.3 million that was given to Gerard Randall? Are you going to do an investigation on that $110 million that's missing? Are you going to do an investigation on that $500,000 that we as parents were supposed to receive for bringing our kids back and forth to school during COVID? Okay, these areas need to be looked at. Don't just decide because we're not a Wauwatosa or a Waukesha or a Germantown that you're going to ignore, okay, when we are being mistreated, when folks are doing things with money that belong to our children, that we're just going to ignore all of this because we're not. If the local media stations have decided that they're not going to inform the community through the news, then we just have to get the word out as citizens. And we need to make that an overflow crowd on December 19, 2023 at 5:30 at the MPS Central Office Building.
Well, if anybody's in the People's News Network, they know I try my best. I know you share a lot of posts in there. I share your posts in there. So people usually see your movement, your activity. So the more we will definitely try to, ramp it up and I'll keep sharing the posts and letting people know that it's very important that they go and represent. And it's important for the people who are affected directly by this. And I say directly by meaning if you have children who are currently in this system, then you definitely need to be represented. You definitely need to find your voice. It's just so hard. It's a hard sell in our community because a lot of people, for many different reasons, have no faith in the powers that be. They don't trust MPS. They don't trust the political parties. They don't even trust the church no more. When black people stop,
it's sad. It's sad.
When black people stop believing in Jesus, it's serious. Because I grew up in a Southern family, and my grandmother and them would slap you in don't you blaspheme in this house. When we done moved into the point where now black people don't even believe in Jesus no more. And so
they don't believe in what? Say it again, Kevin, because you say it.
Jesus.
They don't believe. Oh,
they
wow.
In the church. They don't want to go to.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
Ask the average black person, do you go to church? They'll say, man, church. I mean,
no, wait. But Kevin, just because they don't go to church does not believe in that,
mean that whole ideology. Black people are rejecting.
Well, you know what? I don't know what kind of folks you're hanging around with, because most of the folks I know and I talk to, they believe in the Trinity.
Well, in my age group,
they have Christian.
In Gen X, I'm a Gen Xer. Gen Xers are way so far detached from that old school Southern Christian leadership. And this is why you don't see a whole lot of black males in these churches. Most of the black males in these churches are sweet. They're very light on their toes because the black men are like, we're not even doing that. It's low. Black men. When I was young, my father was a preacher. When I was young,
Wait a minute, wait, Kevin. You said most of the black men in the church are sweet.
yeah, they tippy toes.
I don't believe. No, I don't agree.
Come on, man. They all
I don't agree now. Come on.
They choir director.
I don't agree.
All right. Well,
I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor.
Who is the young man over here in the corner? Because he's laughing at you. I don't agree with that, Kev. Kev, we don't agree on a lot of things.
Explain to her about our where we are with Christianity as Gen Xers in our generation.
First, give her your history.
My history
with the church.
I used to teach Sunday school and I used to preach. I grew up Church of God in Christ. I was raised Kojic, which I was an active member and teacher for about 20 years.
And you are what now? What's your view on the church now?
Oh, now I'm not
the church. What's his view on religion? Actually, religion.
That whole Christianity. What's your view on Christianity?
My view on Christianity is
I'm listening now. I'm older than you.
Go ahead,
what'd you say?
So my view is it was something that was made by the church for power and profit.
Oh my God. Yeah. I want to pray for you all before I leave. Deal with him to look.
Slave master's religion. That's the book.
Oh my God! No, absolutely not. Come on, Cam. We need to.
Cube said the devil made you a slave.
You know what? Let me say this. I've always felt that. Oh, Kevin, Lord of Jesus, help him, Lord, help him, Lord Jesus.
Welcome to Outlaw Radio.
I am sincere. Dear my heavenly Lord Jesus, please touch them, touch their minds, their hearts, and their spirit, Lord Jesus. I'm not trying to laugh. I mean, I'm laughing because you are, but God knows I'm sincere. Help these children. Help these young people.
I didn't say
God their steps, Lord. No, God their steps, Lord Jesus. I'm serious. Young man, what's your name? Real?
Yeah, Darrell.
Help him, Lord. Help him. Help him. My husband grew up Kojic. And my husband knows the Bible from
my wife is Kojic. My wife is Kojic.
Right. And he doesn't go to church, but he knows. He knows that God is there.
He had this discussion.
He knows that God is ever present in your life, regardless of what you are going through. Regardless of what you're going through.
I believe that too.
And I will say, just because you don't go to church, it does not mean that you don't have faith and that you don't believe in God.
All right. Well,
so I'm asking the Lord, please touch them, Lord Jesus. Help their belief system. Let them know that you are there for them. And I meant that prayer.
Choir directors, right?
I meant that. I meant that prayer.
I appreciate
that. I meant that prayer.
Miss Beverly, I want to thank you for coming. It's always a blast when you come through. We got to get you back.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we gonna push that and try to get people to that meeting. Y'all
I appreciate it.
Share the show. I tell people all the time, you want to help me? You could hit the Cash App, but share the show. Share the show. Share the show. Okay. Share the show. So, and that's the way, because we get this information.
Well, I'm going to share it as soon as I'm off, but I'm going to share. But okay. Kevin, thank you very much for allowing me on. I enjoyed talking with you, Kmart, this young man, Real. I think that's what you call him.
That's right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It reminded me of being at Texas Southern University with my friends from all over the nation, just sitting back talking about different topics.
That's what it's.
Everybody having their own opinion. Okay, but you all take care. Okay.
You too.
And dear Lord Jesus, please touch their minds, their hearts, and their spirits. Amen.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Shout out to Miss Beverly, man. Hey, man. Outlaw Radio, man.
I ain't want to make that lady panic, man.
I know, man. You said, man. You simp, man. You simping, Rail. You could have. I thought you was going to come through with the boom. I don't know if
she could take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people that have been plugged into the matrix so long that you don't want to shock their system like that. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I believe. I was trying to explain to her that our generation has kind of turned their back on that whole like thing.
It's because we're in a nation. We're in a generation that every motherfucker with a smartphone has a million libraries in their pocket. So we're in a day and age where knowledge is so accessible that belief is present in the absence of knowledge. Once you have knowledge, you don't need belief because you either know or you believe. You know what I'm saying? I can either believe that I'm real or I can know that I'm real, but I can't do both at the same time.
Wow.
So when you have knowledge, you no longer need belief because belief was to keep you and hold you until you can acquire the substantiating knowledge.
I listen. I still believe in the Trinity. I was raised, like I said, I was raised by Southerners. I'm just saying, my people now, when I converse with them and we start talking about it, and we've even gotten to the point on here where we don't even really refer to, we refer to spirituality more so than religion, because it's just that deep a topic for a lot of us, our personal beliefs. And I'm not one to tell a Muslim, well, you going to hell because you believe in Allah. Or I'm not going to tell a Buddhist, well, you praise Buddha. Look, it's a personal thing for me, right? And we'll see what it is. But I feel like if you believe in something, you'll be okay at the end of the day. It's those people who believe in nothing that I worry about. Right. So let me catch my
If you
chat
gotta
room.
believe in something, why not believe
Might as
in
well
me?
believe in me, right? Mama Jenkins said the Koch brothers endorsed Nikki Haley for president. She's a Republican, but that's letting Trump know his money ain't enough. Yeah, Trump, Ewok said we can't allow ourselves to be so angry with Democrats that we speak in any type of way to lead people towards voting for white supremacy. I'm not even angry at Democrats. I'm not angry at Republicans. I understand them both. You muted, Kamar. I understand them both. I just talk about recognizing the evils that they both have the potential for committing. And if a black person want to say, well, you trying to get me to vote for a white supremacist, they would have to be dumb as a box of rocks, because I'm telling you the evil of the other side too. I'm telling you, be informed. It's people over policy and party. That's what I'm about. I'm about people. Go ahead, Kamar.
No, that's just what I was finna get at. You wound up summing up what I was finna say.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, white folk is white folk, and power is power, and white folk are gonna do everything in their power to remain in power. I don't give a fuck if they Republican or Democrat. Yep. It's like white people in power are gonna do whatever it takes to stay in power.
Including
whether
creating
it's
black
buy,
gay people,
steal, kill, distraction. Like I was reading something just earlier today. You know, while everybody talking about Diddy and all this other shit, I guess they just passed something in New York where they can damn near come to your house and take you out to a quarantine camp, no matter what the virus, not just COVID, anything. You know, they they just made that shit walk.
Right.
So them FEMA camps and shit might be a reality no matter who in office.
He said Farrakhan knows why Obama did what he did, and he's not mad at Obama. I didn't say he was, Ewok. I'm saying me. This is and the opinions expressed on Outlaw Radio are solely those of the motherfucker that said it. Know who to be mad at. I said me. When I saw that from him, I said, that's not the kind of brother that I'm gonna get behind 100%. And I still voted for him. I still voted for him twice. But so in the end, when nothing happened, when we didn't get what we thought we should have gotten out the deal, I said, well, you can't be mad at nobody but yourself because you voted for him twice, and he disassociated himself from our most powerful, our most influential leader off top. What did you think he was gonna do?
And he also said there will be no black agenda.
No black agenda, and we still voted for him twice. To all y'all, you people, you colored people. Mama Jenkins said, wasn't Randall all over workforce development? I don't know. I have to look into it. She brought something to light that I hadn't heard of, and this money, and I'd like to see what. But once again, we talk about $660 million. Talking about other services, like, come on, like you could do a better job of describing it than that. Say you bought some lunch or some food. You spend $1 million a year on apple slices for the cafeteria, something like, come on, man. Mike is laughing because I said choir directors. I mean, I'm just saying that masculinity, the church that I grew up in, and people say, Kev, you don't even go to church. How you know? I see representation. I've been in churches where that male presence that we had when I was young in the church is no longer there. I mean, it was some OGs in the church, Deacon so and so, and them when I was young, and that though, because young black males are not really jumping down for that anymore. Black people feel like, okay, well, I don't really know how to process this.
Ain't it crazy how they don't preach on that in the church?
Or do they? I don't know. Do they or do they not? I don't know.
I'm talking about how like man on man is a sin. They don't preach that, and how gay ain't cool. You know what I mean? Why they don't talk about that? What's in the Bible?
Some of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them do. Some of them don't.
Homosexuality. They preach against it big time, and a lot of times it be the undercover pastors that
the choir director be rolling his eyes. Hey, the choir director
preach hard against it because
he ain't talking to me.
Against it.
God damn it!
Choir director mad in the motherfucker. Son of a bitch.
He think he's slick. He think he's slick.
Right. He said, "You heathens." Ewok said, "There's a lot of dummies out there. Minds are easy to get into. Look at the Trump followers." Yeah, but I'm gonna tell the truth about it, Ewok. You know, I like I said, I don't just expose one side, and I think that's the problem with people who just are in love with one side. You can't see the forest for the trees, and you end up leading people astray because you don't give them the objective as well as the subjective.
I say that motherfucker was at least willing to sit down and talk to Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Biden ain't do shit.
Yeah.
And still ain't did
Trump
shit.
said, "What you got to lose, nigga? What you got to lose, nigga? What you talking about, right?" Yeah, I don't like your black ass, but Sleepy Joe don't either. He locked your ass up, right?
Right.
I just wouldn't let you stay in my apartment complex. I just, once again, white people are white people. I expect white. This is my expectation for white people. I expect you to be a white person, and when it comes down to some white shit, I expect you to do that. White people be whiting. I like, and they have the ability to separate themselves from us and their children, their schools, their restaurants, their businesses, their neighborhoods. They can still do that in this country, and you never even know it. And then they say, "I have nothing against black people." Let a black person move in a secluded community. Motherfuckers will lose their shit on the first barbecue, right? It's white people are white people, man. You can, anytime we get too excited about them and want to be so friendly with them, they show you what they call it, a nigga moment. That's what he called it. You will soon have a nigga moment. You will have a nigga moment. What else we got, man? It's Wednesday. We don't have much time left. Any of y'all got anything pertinent? I love having Miss Beverly on because she's so knowledgeable about a lot of the things going on with MPS. But y'all, any one of y'all got something y'all just kind of was thinking like, I want to put this in the atmosphere tonight on the show, and didn't know Kev was gonna have a guest. My phone ain't working, right? So I couldn't bring my callers in. I know I got to call Dion after the show because he's gonna cuss me out like, motherfucker. We'll be back on next week. My new phone should be in. Anything? What you say, Kamar?
He gonna tell you why you ain't tell me, Kev. I'd have bought you a phone.
No, he ain't gonna say that. That's that 50 Cent Puffy shit. Like, you need to let me take you shopping. Ain't no grown man ain't gonna buy me no phone. I got a whole wife upstairs.
Man, hey, Dion love the show, man. Dion love the show. You see, he be upset when we don't be on, man. He just might have bought you dropped the phone off to you. Like, hey, Kev, here go a phone. I'll be back tomorrow to get it.
Your broke ass. He said, "I'm good, bro." I know you is Dion. I know you is. But he right though. Dion will send me an inbox when ain't no show. Like, "Oh, Kev, you on that bullshit?" I'm like, we'll be back Wednesday. No, man. It's continued spirit of supporting black business. Kamar, I know you you got the House of Vitality cracking. What you got coming up this weekend?
This weekend, the Winter Farmers Market will be back open, man. The Winter Farmers Market will be back open over on 53rd and Capitol at the table. The Coogee Chagalia Co-op's Vocational Center.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? Y'all got to come on out, man. Come support the people. They got fresh vegetables. There's farmers who still got fresh vegetables out there. You know, you still come get you some good stuff, man.
Okay.
A lot of makers. You know, you come get you some hot elderberry sea moss tea from me and get it with my booster shot. Man, that shit fire.
I seen you putting that together.
Yeah.
Dion said, I fuck with you hard. Yeah, Dion, we know. We know you Dion is you might as well say he's an outlaw. He's an honorary outlaw because and Dion will call in and take the show over if he don't like the pace it's going. Like, no, Kev, I want to talk about this. What did he say? I'm finna segue. I was like, wait, hold a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Don't. Ewok said, why you think women be so mad? You done got in the mind and hit it and quit it. I mean, I do understand that, conversation rules the nation. I understand mouthpiece, man. Having jawbone is everything. Like, to be able to really spit and articulate, trust me, I know the value of it. To really be able to communicate, because there's a lot of people who one of their biggest fears is to do public speaking or to speak in front of a group of people. If you're the type of person who will get up there and pop your shit, whether it's a half a meal or a happy meal, you are a unique individual and you got the potential to lead the masses. I understand that, but I think you need to give people both perspectives and let them choose, as opposed to trying to influence them and call the outcome. That's just my personal theory of communication. I'd rather have you fully informed and make a decision than have you under some illusion. And then when the lights come on, now you mad at me. Now it's a lot of heat coming off the end of that couch. Mike Kimmons says, here's the question. Where are the white Democrats fighting hard for critical race theory? There we go, Mike. And I think that's what Kamar was saying when he was like, if you are a white person and you see another white person doing some foul shit and you don't stand up to them, you just as foul as they are.
Yeah.
Right. And so you're right, Mike. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, we love black people. We love us some white folks. Like black people change when a good white man come around. It's something just come over them. It's just all, hey, how you doing? Motherfucker can't stop smiling. And a lot of times I'm standing there with disgust on my face, like, do you know how these people really fucking feel about you? I'm even smart enough to know that a lot of them who tell us that they love us don't give a shit about us. It's called game. It's called game. I can motivate you niggas if I make y'all think I love y'all. He good white people. He good white folks. He can come to the cookout. That motherfucker will come and foreclose on your house and it won't be none of the cookout. You will never know where it came from. So don't be a fool. I'm not saying there's not good white people in the world. I'm just saying, as a black person, you got to look at them with open eyes. You can't be so, oh man, it just feels so good to have white people that like me. He's a good white person. No, people are people. There's some crooked niggas in this world that I don't trust. So what makes you think I'm gonna trust all white people? Come on, son. Bro, you got anything special? I'm coming to give me a bottle this weekend, man. I don't know if you got apple cinnamon. I don't know what you got. I'm coming. You got to get ready.
I got three. I think I got like 3 grape wines left in the white grape one.
You know what? Put me one of them good grapes aside. I'm gonna imbibe this weekend.
I got you.
Saturday, I'm
trying, real. I'm trying, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying, man. I'll be busy as shit, man. I'm trying to get
I feel you. It's all good.
Yeah, I meant to get with you last weekend, but I'm gonna give me one this weekend because I wanna, like I said, support. And I know you gave me so many bottles. So I'm definitely want to come and spend some bread with you. So I'm gonna come give me a bottle of wine. My son is in the midst of basketball season. He played pretty good last night. They lost, but he did have about 10 points and about 5 assists. And it's one thing that I tell my son all the time is you don't let people define you, right? And so he's coming to a situation where the press and not the press, but like the hype for other kids who's supposed to be this, that, and the third are there. And you're, like I tell him, you're just as great, if not greater than them. I've been watching you a long time, boy. You got star potential all over you. I need for you to let this thing ride. I get what he does, though. He plays, he does what they tell him to do. Okay. But I'm like, Kev, we ain't in this to be good. We in this to be great. So, but his numbers is coming through and he looks good. He looked really well. This dude is 5'10" and he just guarded a dude that's 6'4", that's all world. Now the dude still scored points, but he only scored about 2 buckets on Kev. I mean, he had him frustrated, like to the point where dude's like, somebody get this little dude away from me. And it was just a joy to see, man. Proud papa. So we got a game Friday night, and then Saturday, I'm just gonna be out kicking it with my son. I know we're gonna get a haircut. Me and wifey all of us probably go eat. But Sunday, if not Saturday, I'm getting to Eddie Silas. I'm getting to Prolific Arms. I'm behind the 8 ball, but it all works out because it would be nice to start Trigger Happy TV. And shout out to Eagle Eye Shaw.
That
who's
would
also
be
gonna
fly.
be a part of it. It'd be nice to start it in January at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
So I'm going to rock with Ed, and we're gonna get this thing popping and make it do what it do, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for bearing with me. I apologize about the phone. It'll be straightened out. And we'll be back Monday, man. I just want to leave everybody with this information, man. And I want them to know, because a lot of us in this country, what we really want is some money, right? And that's the, money talks, bullshit run a marathon. And we know that. And everybody got to do what they got to do to get their bread. But I want to leave you with this. Behind every great fortune is a great crime.
Yes,
and behind every great crime is a white man. I'll see you on Monday.